I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef.
Hey. Can you run that? Hey, can you run that back one more time, please?
I got you.
Thank you, brother. I feel great today. Working like a slave.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. I want to send gratitude. I'll just flip it through my notes real fast, but I want to send gratitude and love on this beautiful day today. Peace and love to all the true light seekers. But before we get started, can we do our Moorish American prayer? And then today is our Sunday school. Brian, would you please give us our aims of how the BBT believe? Then we're going to jump right into the teaching.
Yes, sir.
Gratitude.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Shalom Aleichem, Ayah Asha'ayah, Hotep, Islam, Amen, and peace. So, scientific study will illuminate the student that Yahweh, our Elohim, God, the creator of the stellar and ecclesiastical universe, has stipulated in all Bibles, regardless of the translation, a pattern that he, Yahweh Elohim, gave Moses in Mount Sinai in the year 1490, BBY, erroneously referred to as BC. It is by a profound knowledge of the construction and operation of this divine pattern of the Mosaic tabernacle in relationship to every created object in the universe, whether visible or invisible, that will reveal the answer to every question concerning Yahweh Elohim and Yahshua the Messiah as he really is and his eternal purpose and plan. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School is not only a church, but also a school of research founded with the idea in mind to delve into every branch of science according to the pattern of the tabernacle, man made in the image of God, to find the answer to every question that has plagued the student from the foundation of the world, thus proving the unerring accuracy and infallibility of the Bible. In research and study, we always use the true Hebrew names of the unity of the spirit of the so-called Godhead. Instead of the title God as the Father's name, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahweh. Instead of Jesus Christ as the Word or Son's name, we are using Elohim, which is the correct Hebrew title of the Father, Yahweh, in super and corporal form. For the Holy Spirit, which is Yahweh Elohim, manifested in a physical body, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahshua, the Messiah. These holy names may seem to be of private interpretation, which we, the Burning Bush Tabernacle, have invented, but through research and study with a good encyclopedia or dictionary, anyone can discover for themselves of this great error. There was no letter J in any language until the Middle Ages. Neither was there ever a letter equivalent to the J in the Hebrew language. Therefore, such names as Jesus or Jehovah are impossible renderings of the true name of the Father and the Son. Here at the BBT, our aims are as follows. 1, to illuminate the student to find and know Yahweh, our Elohim, as he really is and exists. 2, to form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity in Yahshua the Messiah, without distinction of race or nationality, creed, sex, caste, or color. Aim 3, to investigate the unexplained spirit law or so-called law of nature and those powers latent in man. 4, to encourage the study of the scriptures, comparative religions, psychology, philosophy, and modern practical and occult sciences. 5, to remove spookism, superstition, skepticism, and ignorance. Aim 6, to learn, know, and understand the operation of Yahweh's eternal purpose through the dispensations and ages. Aim 7, to discern and avoid being deceived by Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan and his demons operating the mystery of iniquity on earth through the dispensations of time. Aim 8, to earnestly contend for the common salvation and faith which was once delivered to the sons and children of Yahweh. Aim 9, to make known that Yahweh from the beginning ordained there is no other name given among men whereby man can be saved, saving the name Yahshua the Messiah. And last but not least, aim 10, to inherit eternal life now in the kingdom of Yahshua the Messiah with the hope of immortal glorification in the new earth state. And with that, I say Islam, amen, and peace, 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 peace.
Peace,
Islam.
peace, peace,
Amen.
peace,
Peace, peace, peace, peace, peace,
peace, peace.
peace.
Noble Alonzo, how you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful by the grace of Allah. Islam, great to be under the sound of your voice and all of the tribe. Islam, peace and love.
Islam, peace and love. Let me turn the volume up a little bit. There we go. Man, it's always good to hear my brothers, man. And Alonzo, I always be looking forward to your Wednesday motivations. And if brothers don't pop in to Noble Alonzo Wright Bay's Wednesdays affirmations, they're always beautiful on his social media, on his Facebook page.
Gratitude.
And it always synchronized. And our Noble Alonzo, every time it's on his spirit, he break down the Moorish Quran. Live, the Moorish Quran, which every Moorish should have when they say they study Moorish science. How can you say you study Moorish science and you never, ever, 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 ever had dinner with the Moorish Quran? That to me is asinine. Any more that don't know the Moorish Quran from front and back to back and forth is only what? About 60 pages. Islam?
Islam.
So the divine comes first.
Islam.
Do we agree?
Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Islam. Somebody want to say something?
Saying I agree.
Okay, Islam. Well, here at the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, we have the pleasure to speak on and study on, and how can I say, bring things back to our people remembrance on a lot of history, on a lot of civics, on a lot of science, on a lot of world history. Why? Because I was introduced to it. That's why. Everything I talk about, I'm gonna be transparent. It's nothing new under the sun. The reason why the plethora of us don't know is because we haven't been introduced to true wisdom. We haven't dealt with brothers and sisters that was truly initiated. I didn't say took an oath. I said initiated with wisdom, with understanding, with linguistics, with history. You must be initiated. You must be initiated. And how they messed us up, they just connotated it and made it Crips and Bloods. All the signs and the symbols belong to who? The ancient and modern man, the primordial man. So when I talk about these things, the reason why we don't hear of these things, because it is words and phrases called gatekeepers. You know, it is sacred. They like to call secret societies and holy orders of hidden wisdom. Yes, it is. I speak freely about them. I tell y'all, I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. I was introduced to the Philosophical Research Society by my professors. When they met me, when I first started getting my dual master's degree, Nobles, the lectures I used to go to, and they used to see me in the libraries, they used to see me with my fans on. All my Jewish professors, you know, were most of them were potentates. They like, you have to get your own. And so for myself, I took it amongst myself to say, wait a minute, I can be a part of these study groups. I can be a part of the Royal Archives, where I tell people, a lot of people can say things, but I study at the Royal Archives. When I tell people Oxford, Cambridge, all those schools have Gnostic libraries in the basement. How do I know this for a fact? Because when I was getting my dual master's degree, that's where I was getting my information from. I wrote the librarians and chairs, professors. They were like, well, who are you? And I'm like, hey, I'm a student, boom, boom, boom. I'm looking for this, that, and the other. I met so many professors that didn't look like me. So when people be talking about wisdom and things, I said I deal with the brain. So we're going to deal with a little bit of wisdom today. Remember, it's always two sides to a coin. And all the sages, when we talk about Aleister Crowley, when we talk about Pascal Beverly Randolph, when we talk about Adam Blavatsky, all that stuff is watered down more science. If they were in the flesh, they'd be like, yes. They went to the East and studied. All that theosophy stuff, all that stuff, when I show you the connection and wisdom, you're going to be like, it's nothing to disagree with. Brothers and sisters just have to say that they weren't introduced and able to go as far as some of us are able to go. Think about this stuff. If the other man say that these so-called people hide, Aleister Crowley, Pascal Beverly Randolph, and all them, and I say, okay, well, they were in the flesh, the wisdom that they promulgate is watered down snowman wisdom. You may have heard a phrase that say, oh, secrets of secrets that are hidden in the being of all that lives. Not thee do we adore, for that which adore is also thou. Thou art that, and that am I. So do you understand the science? Really what he's saying is, I will be what I will to be. See, listen, man, when you listen to the wisdom, when you connect the science, it's nothing spooky. You know? It's nothing spooky. Thou will ask, what is the new regeneration? Or how is it that done in man? How is that done in man? Hear and see. Close not thy mind. Let it not be filled by the spirit of this world with its might and pomps. Lay hold upon thy mind and break through the spirit of this world eternally. Yield thy mind unto the kind love of the Creator. Make thy purpose earnest and strong to overcome the pleasure of the world and not to regard it. Consider that art not at home in this world, but art a stranger or a guest per se, made captive in a prison per se. Cry and call to him who has the key of the prison. Yield thyself up to him in obedience, in righteousness, in humility, in purity. When I do things and I tell people like KRS said, in 4 sections of teachers, it will begin to speak. Are you a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. So the things that I do is I penetrate and we go into different sanctuaries of sublime sciences, AKA the esoteric wisdom. Think about this. When your eyes come from common men, the tabernacle, the sanctuary wherein the eternal has lodged the secrets of nature, kept for a few that are privileged Remember, many are called, but only a few are chosen. And the few elect, whom his omnipotence created, that they may see, and seeing may soar. These are the things that I'm saying. In the vast expanse of his glory and elect upon mankind, one of the rays that shine round about his golden throne. I'm telling you, if any of these European writers, with all due respect, Manly P. Hall, all of them, they agree. Why? Because I can go in their wisdom and pull it out. Think about these things for a tittle. Have you ever thought about, and see, in the introduction of this wisdom, I always like to reference books and wisdom. And then it's almost like when you writing in school, you say you give this part, you give a body, you break it down, you know, how people can relate to what you're talking about, and then you can wrap it all up. But we got to give credit to thought processes. And this is what I show people, you know. Oh, Empress says she didn't get an email. But have you ever taken a look at the dollar bill and wonder what all those strange symbols mean? I know everybody did. Or why there's so much writing in Latin. Why it's an owl on a dollar bill. Why it's a lot of writing in Latin. You know? Why you see your granddad with that ring on, they was going to meetings and you seen the feds and didn't know what it was all about, and it had writings on it. What do the letters mean to him? Let's just say if you're interested in this, right? Because it's a lot of stuff only known by the upper echelons of humanity. But let's just say you're interested in these subjects, which can be safely assumed due to the fact that you may be a philosopher or on your way. And there's nothing wrong when you on your way looking for those that may be on the way or have gone the way that you're going, and you could tarry along. You should take the heart of the fact that these mysteries have been laid upon and out before. That's why you're here. You know? That's why when I say real, they say secret, but it's nothing secret. I just use the phrase sacred knowledge is hard to come by. Why? Because a lot of people hold it for secrets. And after all, when you think about it, information that someone knows and purposely withholds or obscure from the sight of others. And in this case of spiritual enlightenment, why would anybody actively stop interested parties from beholding what? What they say, the kingdom of what? Heaven. Why would I stop anyone from doing that? I just say I have a gift. I don't say people give me donation to listen to me, but I say, if you came to my temple, would you give a donation? A lot of people say, yeah. If you want to, you can. If not, I'm gonna keep going. But the recurring literary and historical things of the slaughter of the innocents by the tyrants, the fearful of a new era, and the stories of the Savior murdered by the very people they had to come to liberate might shed some light on the matter. It's a lot that you should have in your mind that you want to ask. When they talk about mystery traditions, secrets are not usually pieces of information being withheld by someone, but rather levels of consciousness that are hidden from our normal mental state. Think about this. And in most cases, a secret is really just a what? Acquisition of a new point of view, but learning to love instead of fear. What you do not understand can be a long, difficult process. And perhaps some things are better kept as secrets. Think about what I'm saying in this context, not hiding nothing from no one, but in this context. You know?
Islam.
Think about it. That's where all this secret stuff come from. But we can't do that with us. When I tell people, just like the prophet said, he removed the veil on all these secret societies, same here, because I have my own charter. I love my Masonic brothers. I love my Rosicrucian brothers, but we have the keys. We have the keys, and I'm gonna stand on it. Me and my brothers and anybody, we can stand on our square with anyone. That's with any public place, any place where you have prosecutors, attorneys, anything we doing, we stand square. We stand square. Without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. But think about these things, man. When I talk about, are you a spiritual seeker? You know, we have to connect, and we have to have the endeavor to connect directly with the idea of being. And that's labeled by some as divine. So the gnosis, AKA, which is a Greek word for what? Knowledge, is the direct knowledge or personal contact with what? This type of divinity. You see? You have to have eyes to see. And then if we understand that, when we talk about things and we use the, how can I say, symbology of a tree, there are branches on the tree of the occult knowledge. But the trunk of this tree, what it do? It unites all what? These seemingly what? Contradictions, worldviews, is what? Gnosis. Think about this now. That's why to search, to be on the way. That's why the biblical scripture says the people of the way. The way means you going somewhere. Not we going backwards. We going this way. We are going a certain place. And to search for this sacred knowledge, some want to say secret, is to journey into the soul of what? Humanity. What is more deeply buried or obscured than the very center of what? Ourselves. That's what this is all about. So when you hear people speak on these things or be afraid to speak on these things, the word occult has, in modern Western society, dark and sometimes evil connotations. But however, my brothers and sisters, it simply means hidden or secret. You see? Y'all still with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right with you.
Okay. And any knowledge or mention that is not easily perceived or obvious may be called occult. This is why we can't let no one just say things and we say, yep, oh, that's a cult. What you mean? Oh, a cult, something that you don't know? That's what you're talking about? Because we can get to origin of words now. We know linguistics very well. So when you operate in a proper manifestation, okay, well, yes. You know, it will for many bring to mind images of robes and sacrifice and communions and XYZ. But when we talk about this hidden knowledge, all that is the outer appearance of what we're talking about within. Listen, y'all, watch how we talk about key concepts, right? And when all these writers that people talk about, I always have to bring it up because I love all my Mason brothers, one, peace, light, and illumination. But in Arizona, it's a lot of other type of Masons. And those type of Masons be reading different literature, and what's on their Masonic tables is what I talk about. So when we talk about the occult sciences, they are necessary, or they necessarily eccentric. For so soon as they cease to be eccentric, they cease to be occult. And then I know where these quotes be coming from. Why? Because remember, any science that have any part of science in it, no matter if it's, how can I say, a rat poison, is going to be something in there. Well, Alicia's Levi and them be talking about and all that, but you know, transcriber. So you have to see what a transcriber consists of. And then we can start basing things on things that we can break down. But when you begin to explore the so-called secret traditions, my brothers and sisters, it don't take long to realize that you haven't even just stepped into a field of study, nor even a universe. So what you mean? You step into what? Remember, I told y'all things have parallels. So you stepped into what? If something, not just a universe, and I say you can, is more than one, or I don't want to give the answer, then that would be, it would have multiple, right? Y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
So then it'd be
Absolutely.
okay. So then it'd be a multiverse where symbols and methods that share the same name do not carry the same meaning, and nothing seems to inherently correspond with anything else. Now, this is how we pull the little things out. The masters of this invisible college seldom agree on anything, from the exact positions of energy channels within the body to the existence and function of the non-physical entities, such as angels and demons. And then there's the discussion among believers in paternal beings as to the existence of such things as non-physicality, whether these things are repressed psychological impulses or independent life forms. So when we talk about these things, brothers and sisters, I hope we look at this stuff with a clear eye. Just as no two people are exactly alike, right? But yet can share what? Natural similarities, betraying a common ancestor. Now watch this. So the occult systems of the world are neither uniform nor entirely estranged. And so when we talk about this connection or this nexus point, y'all know what a nexus point is, right? Write these things down, because Alonzo, I'm gonna start bringing, every time I bring up things, everything my nose be saying that these science and bombs, it come right back to my hippocampus. Because when I say the nexus points that connects these divergence and sometimes contradictory dimensions of inner space is you. So if that's the case, we are connected by what, Alonzo?
Cords that cannot be broken.
See, I told you he was gonna say it. I told you when you cords that cannot be broken. So when we talk about the occult science, we say it's nothing scary. We're talking about you, the Kabbalah, the Sephiroths, everything, the Southern Serpent, all of it. We're talking about you. It's you. The occult theory of correspondence assures you that as what? As above is what?
So below.
So below. And yet you are the bridge between these two realms. We are the bridge between these two realms, the as above and so below. We there, as well as the ultimate judge of what constitutes them and the meaning they will have in our personal development. See? And when you start to work things in the beginning as a novice will gain much in your study if you acquaint yourself thoroughly with the instances in which the masters agree and afterward endeavor to understand our reasons for disagreement when we come with wisdom. The foundation of the sacred tradition lies not in this knowledge, y'all, but in the use of it. In mathematics, we call it what? Holistic mathematics, things that can be used. So we talk about the simplicity of this more science. What's your life like? This science should exude in your life. This science should get you to a level of peace. This science should get you to a level of understanding everyone. Because what we're giving and what we're delivering and what we're going back to is our originality. Remember this. Remember this. Even with these occult, the most valuable, important of occults, and this science is not what or where the first substance is for the secrets of our shared spiritual heritage are said to be everywhere. The occult traditions merit and relevance to this progress, to this terrain. So you have to understand, y'all, when we talk about sacred science, it's only sacred insofar as it ends, how can I say, the rationalization of human evolution. You know? And when we talk about key concepts of so-called sacred tradition, when you talk about the technical and the philosophical ideas that may be found on most branches of the tree of the occult knowledge or the Kabbalah. Now, let me see how long I've been going. I got a little bit more time. So when we call this, some we call it the great work, but I'm making it plain that a child can understand it. And I'm giving reference to the mental because it's nothing new under the sun. There is, however, one form of miracle which certainly happens, and that's the influence of the genius. That's the influence of the genius. So when you talk about the path of spiritual attainment, sometimes it's called the great work. In alchemy, it is completion of the creation of the philosopher's stone. And in our magic, it's called what? The knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel. It is the manifestation of genius, which can lead the world on its next great adventure. Also, the holy scriptures and sayings recorded by the saints are all utterance of the genius. Stay in context because we already done synchronized this wisdom. Success is the quest, is the raising understanding of Western mystery traditions. But when we talk about this stuff, this inner science, and it's conjuring up who we are, what the scripts talk about when you say occult, especially when I talk about the Baphomet, which is occult as well. And when a person say, oh man, well, that's something scary, and everybody been taught that, when everybody saw that figure, the first thing comes to you and be connotated from our own people is no explanation. All animal figures and scary figures are nothing but what, y'all? In science, they're nothing but what, y'all?
Pious hieroglyphs.
No, but Brian, you so smart. Pious hieroglyphs. Pious hieroglyphs. Pious hieroglyphs. So when you see all those different figureheads with human bodies, you have to understand what they are. Just like I break it down, it's different so-called gods and their so-called working manifestation per se, and what their essence exudes per se. You see? You know? The unknown must remain so until you experience it directly. The unknown must remain that way until it's what? Experienced directly. That's why I'm saying this is the gift. When anything can get your attention. Remember, one of the executions of the great work in this context is fulfillment of prophecy, and what you see prophecy playing out today. If you see the mathematics, if you see the analogy and the parable and its symbology of the biblical text, and in this context, what the biblical text is used for, it's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Why? Because it's a mathematical equation that'll stand to the test of time. That's what I'm saying. If you have eyes to see and see what it's talking about, you'll be like, oh my God. You remove the veil from religious dogma because you will have eyes to see. It's fulfilling prophecy. It's continuation of an ancient dialogue between what? Man and God. Think about this. Think about this. To do this, whatever you want to call it, and different, dharma, whatever, higher self, higher into yourself, whatever you want to call it. All things are concealed in all. All things are concealed in all, brothers and sisters. Remember this. What? Because anything that you're looking for, the answer to it is when you look within. You can look on all so-called religious manuals and still don't find yourself. Only until you look within, you'll find yourself. And only then, that's when the light bulb moment will come on. That's when the aha. That's when the aha. And that's when the illumination begins to what? Develop in each individual, or at the same time. We're talking about a universal force. Think about this, y'all. When we talk about the prana, the chi, the astral, the fluid, the ophadan, those vibrations are all terms for what? A universal life force that permeates and connects all things. So when you talk about the Kabbalistic text, they call it the what? The Kai, or the Ka, which means life, because of the transcendental nature of the force. Remember, it's also called correspondence, or nature, or matter, or thoughts can take the forms of actions, shaping what? The world, right? Because in the beginning was what? The word. And what happened? The word was made this. So when we talk about law of correspondence or matter, our thoughts can take the forms of actions, shaping our world. You see what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? We're not dissing nothing. We're using both parts of our brain. You see?
Islam. It's like I didn't know I was lost, right? What I was searching for.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I was lost until I was found.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, I didn't know I was found until I know I was lost.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all of that together. Islam.
Yeah. Oh, see, now you said something, Noble Alonzo, and watch how he just said it so plain. And now we put it all back to energy. Well, when you say, well, it's all type of energies. Just like when I talk about the energy of the Ankh and the singing Tibet bowls and the crystal bowls and all those different frequencies. And I'll show you some in the biblical scriptures, the 144,000, that's a frequency. That's a healing frequency. I'll teach that later and later. It's a healing frequency in this context. Of course, it can mean a different plethora of things because I break science down on all levels, the exo and the eso. But on that context, when I'm talking about vibrations, I can show you that vibrational code, which is the frequency in the biblical text. Guaranteed. And your Ankh with certain tools, if you have the right one, will make that frequency. Guaranteed. So let's proceed. We're almost there. But we know, okay, yep, I got you. But we are constantly reminded that it's various kinds of energy. What? Solar, wind, natural gas, coal, bioelectrical, and etc. But watch this. These seemingly different forms of energy are all actual variants of the same phenomenon. Y'all know what the phenomena is? Movement. Movement. Remember the concept, Alonzo talk about the text I gave y'all about the water and how the water, like that movement. So these seemingly different forms of energy, they are all actually variants of the same phenomena we call movement. Remember, matter at its most fundamental level is composed of pure energy. So yes, I'm talking about you. You right, Malik. I mean, you're not wrong. You're 100% right. That is, it is moving. Science affirms that everything is energy, or can at least be said to have a what? Energetic component. And the goal of the ancient philosopher, which we are, was to learn how to manipulate and experience matter at its fundamental level. What you mean? What's your life like? And in doing so, we begin to read energy as a movement. You begin to read energy as a movement. You begin to read energy as a movement. And when we observe movement, what we see are the effects of energy. And the process of harvesting energy for electricity is that of what? Converting movements into electromagnetic pulses. When I tell brothers and sisters, if we electric, we should be what? Connecting some things. If we are electric, then we should be doing these things that make us electric and electrical. Think about what I'm saying. Brothers and sisters, a good example of how this works can be found in how we harvest wind energy. Right? Now watch this as we break it down to this and then the body. Very simple. The wind moves a turbine that turns a shaft, right? Yes. And so this shaft goes into a gearbox, increasing the rotation speed, while the generator uses magnetic fields, converting the rotational energy into electrical energy. And the mystic, the sages, the truth tellers like myself and others, we use the same process of energy conversion, except in our power plant. In our power plant, we are the turbine, you the turbine, you the shaft, you the gear box, and the generator used to capture what? The electromagnetic winds. And in this case, being the universal force. These are the tools in the toolbox. I'm not saying nothing outside of nothing. Everything I'm saying is synonymous with our teachings. And the various occult sciences are all methods of harnessing and directing this force towards spiritual light and the development of a civil society. In our teachings, we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of all the rest, right?
Wow.
Right.
Okay. Man, I'm almost done. Y'all are here, Bobby Hemmett talk about the Kayo and all his different writings, which translate as what? The way. In the biblical scriptures, they say they was the followers of the way. And it's unlimited manifestations of the eternal, the Kayo. However, we must remain silent in the manner of true silence. What does that mean? There's nothing that can be said. Yet when our temporal existence may be found, may be ways are straighter and paths shorter, that our work may be done in harmony with the magnificent mystery. So when we talk about this type of way, through this limited eye view that we have, it's rivers, it's streams that we should be connecting to. If raindrops can make a whole, how can I say, a river and things like that. Come on, man. That's life. That's liberty. That's Tayo, you know?
Indeed.
I mean, it's all polarity. It really is the Kemetic principles, pretty much. And that's why when I say, okay, well, if you can't agree with that, then I say, well, let's agree to some things. What? Sustainability, fire, earth, air, river. We agree to those things. So when we look at the Kemetic principles, I think we can agree to those things. I think we can agree to polarity. I think we can agree to the four elements. From the primordial swirling of the ancient universe arose what? Duality. If the pendulum swings the same way to the left as it does to the right, then that's a form of duality, right?
Yep.
And within duality, where further attraction and repulsion existing as agents of the eventual what? Regeneration of the many into what? The one. The one. When we talk about the so-called pentagram coming together, creating one. But then you must be a perfect penta with an arm, leg, arm, head, so you can use your compass and your square to what? Measure what we're talking about. On the masculine force of the propulsion can be found what the ancients call the fire and air, the elements that they observe as seeming to move from their own internal source. These we also attribute to the will and the intellect of humanity, as well as the directions of the east and the south. being the source of what? Light and heat. Now, it's nothing to disagree with those. And within the negative per se polarity, which exercise its feminine forces of vacuity, gravitation, and friction, can be found the elements of water and earth. And these are seen as being passive, acting and being acted upon in a manner that what? Conceals, dissipates, and absorbs, right? Think about this. And when you look about the occult wisdom, they were attributed to the directions of the west and the north and the sources of darkness and cold. Remember, these four elements form the what? The cross of creation, combining to form the basis of all existence. The basis of all existence is what, y'all? We just said it. The four elements is what? We just said it. Fire, water, air, earth. You see? We give wisdom. This is what we have to agree to when we say international wisdom. Fire is hot and dry. Summer, south. Water, cold and moist. Autumn, west. The air is hot and moist. Spring, the east. The earth, cold and dry. Winter, north. All that is composed of a mixture of these four, with one element dominating, depending on its circumstances of the birth. And these four elements also correspond with the seasons and the four alchemical degrees of fire. You see what I'm saying, y'all?
Absolutely.
Wow, definitely.
See, it ain't nothing secret, y'all.
It's sacred, not secret.
Yes. The magic or the mysticism or the left and the right eye. When people say, well, this one eye, this one, okay, I'll close one eye up and go to the other one. Which one you want?
Close one eye, get another.
I mean, for real. That's why Malik Tassel flows so full. Malik Tassel flows full. All that semantic, you're not playing. You know?
Yeah, don't play with me.
So that's all I wanted. I wanted to share. Anybody got anything?
Islam. So those four seasons, we know also too. You know, when we get metaphysical with it, we gotta always go in and out of the esoteric and the exoteric. So here at the BBT, you know, we give you that.
Hey, you. It sound like you double. Like it sound like you echoing.
Somebody got to mute. Somebody got to mute themselves.
I can hear you, Noble. That's better.
Islam, you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Islam. When I was saying here at the BBT, we like to give you the SO and the XO, right? But when you deal with the seasons, we got to understand too that's dealing with our temperaments and our atmosphere when we relating with each other. So we go through different seasons as we have fire, earth, air, and water. We go through, spring, summer, fall and winter. Different times in our lives, we go through different things, and it's not by happenstance. We're connected to nature. When we say that YOU, you're your own universe. So we go through these stages, we go through these phases, and it's not by accident. So when we investigate the elements, as SHIEHK is bringing light to, we are also investigating ourselves while we dealing with our mental and our intellect and how we demonstrate that in our everyday lives. So it's not by accident that we investigate in the elements, because we deal with them in different stages and different phases. So with that, I say Islam.
Islam. And I like I said, I can agree. That's why we have these things open and for the public viewing. All week, man, it's like, what I say, 11K people. I don't know if that's right on TikTok and all these people that be here. all these different sheiks that I be seeing on TikTok. I see Sheik, Heru, Russell L is on my page. He be on there a lot. I just don't understand why brothers and sisters don't link up. That's why I stopped this early, Noble Alonzo. You hear me? You know,
Indeed.
we got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes left. Because if y'all ever came on my TikTok page, y'all would be like, okay, well, this more. Because what city you in, Noble Alonzo?
I'm in Jersey. I'm in Jersey City.
So early when I was working out, it was a brother on here from Jersey City talking about how the temples ain't nothing and how they talk about how they got FBI and all this stuff and XYZ in the temples in Jersey City. I'm like, well, my mufti stay in Jersey. You know, be like real. I'll be like, yeah.
Indeed.
And so I be saying, well, what more science temple you talking about? As I when I say, you know, huh?
Ain't none.
That's all I be saying, Alonzo. That's all I be telling. I said, now is it more science temple of America? Because if it's not, then I don't understand what people be saying when they say that these been infiltrated by the this, that, and the other. And I said, well, what more science temple that you've been to?
None. None.
But what does it really matter, right? If we have what we have, and y'all constantly talking about what you don't have when we standing right here in front of you. So that's just a bunch of hogwash just to be talking. It ain't. You're not looking for a solution. You just want to talk about a problem. The solution, we right here. So the solution staring you in your face, and you talking about an issue that's not even really an issue because the solution staring you in your face.
Indeed.
Islam. And this what I agree. Like all my brothers we met, we all in different areas. We all grown men. That's another thing. We open our doors. I say the answer is here. Because if you say you want to get to Friday, and then Alonzo say, well, of course you got to go through Thursday. But then somebody convince you that be dressed up just like Alonzo as a holy man and say, oh no, I can show you how to get through Friday without going through Thursday, and convince you with the shenanigans.
Right.
You know, and really get you with that. So I agree with Noble what Malik is saying. But also, as a people, as we go around the world, and when people see us with our feds on the representation, because we have to say us as a people when we talk about the science, not saying we operate how other people may operate just on some whatever, like you saying, Malik. But when you see certain individuals, you could be off the dribble just by the association of the outer appearance. You can be categorized. Can we agree to that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right, Nobles?
Right.
Yep.
So therefore, I always ask my brothers and sisters I want to cut off to have this little discussion just to have a little time to talk. You know. So if that's the case, how can we all be promulgating something different? Like, I mean, what is it really?
Some of it's through emotional trauma, right? So people, you know, and I'm gonna speak from experience, right? When I first started out at the Moorish Science, I wanted to tell everybody. Now I knew a little bit, but I didn't know it all, and I still don't know it all, right? It's a constant study of self. But I was excited. I wanted to learn, you know what I mean? I wanted to go. You guys should all know this. But my first thing was I was angry when I started finding out the truth. I was mad, you know what I mean? So some people don't know how to get to the emotional trauma first, right? Or how we've been lied to, basically hoodwinked and bamboozled, right? And that creates some anger in people. And like I said, for me, it was, and I'm not saying I was angry as I need to go hit, you know, not like that, but it's an emotional internal anger. Like you have these wavering feelings that, you know, if you ain't got people around you that can, like, you know, reel you in, but I'm an observer, so I'm going to still observe, you know. And then when I start, you know, really learning the essence of everything, it created a calm, right? Because I do it out of love now, which is our first principle, right? So once you get to it, but you have to continue to study. You got to continue to study, and I'm attached to the right temple. So gratitude to you, Sheik.
Man, gratitude to y'all. I always say, and that's why I'm glad y'all here, and people can see this on my other platform. I only a teacher is only good as the brothers he have. You
Right.
know,
True.
a sheik is a brother. It don't have to be no small group. That's what this is about. And y'all are adults with all different backgrounds.
Islam.
You know, from all different
Islam.
backgrounds of life, from all different experiences, from all different positions in life, this and that and the other, been through things. And so, brothers coming here to the BBT, we have to be right. Every one of us, brother, no matter the ones that's have left for whatever personal reasons of them, but their lives change. And like Malik always say, it's not the science, it's not what we promulgate, because our first principle is love. Off the top, we've been rocking with each other for longer than people been together in their marriages. So we operate on the principle of love. So all I tell my brothers and sisters, if we're going to be promulgate something, if we say it's more science, and when it's more science temple of America, I just think we have to be honest with what we're doing. And it can't be a whole bunch of different type of sciences. Like Malik said, ego, you know, that's the only thing that's stopping us as a people and Moors all over the globe. Cause like I said, it be people on my page that say they sheiks in here, and I'll be like, oh, these people in Atlanta. I'll be like, oh, these people in South Carolina, these people in Jersey City, these people in Florida. And then when I hear other people, they be like, they in the same area. And I'll be like, well, how? Just like a noble hit me up, a noble Alonzo, he was like, man, he said it's about 5 temples in Atlanta. I said, well, what? More Science Temple of Americas? Because like I said, a lot of stuff I don't be knowing, you know? And so regardless if it's somebody group or not, the science have to be right. And that's all I'm saying. If the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. That's all she's saying. Because I'm not the author or the say of this. You want to say something, Zoe?
No,
The prophet and the angel.
I want to go Islam. But I just want to add on to that particular point, and because a lot of times we can get caught up, and we need to kind of be able to center ourselves and realize like everybody got to hear what the prophet brought on the scene as a basic principle, and establish that as either you receive it or you reject it, but you got to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And it absolutely has to kind of get to the point where, regardless of whatever group anyone is promulgating, it's like most of our people are not privy to who Prophet Noble Jew Ali is and was. So when we really harping on the science in different in a different context, we need to really understand that in light of all of that, the real effort and the actions of uplifting, fallen humanity is getting a connection to Prophet Noble Jew Ali, but not in a figurative sense. It's like in an active and a living way. It's like what you demonstrated now, like by I would say by Holy SHIEHK KHARY, in the essence, in the form, because it's about what you delivering to the people and what your action shows. So that's a live demonstration. That's a sermon, living, walking, speaking, right? So in that essence, it's like, okay, so who is Prophet Noble Jew Ali? It's like, okay, wait a minute. I even had to check myself, because I had a moment of contemplation when I said, wait a minute, did I neglect my family from the basic principle of sitting down and really saying to you, this is who this man is and was and why he's significant.
Mm-hmm.
You could receive it or reject it, but then I gotta bounce and move on and keep my life moving, because now I did my duty. But it's like almost like, okay, boom, did I almost think that they were supposed to get this osmosisly? No. They can't. With that, I say Islam. Peace.
They need a map and a guide, right?
Come on. That's what we're here to do. Like we said, we're here to study all the occult scientists. I mean, the sciences. We say we're here to do that. So it's just like we say we a school. So the Moorish Temple of America wasn't supposed to be no Islamic set, no government, this, and that, what, etc. It was a school. So when you go to this form of school, you go to school to learn. And it was basic principles. It was basic principles in that structure. So if your temple is not set up for the school, when brothers are going through degrees and rankings and graduating per se with what? The wisdom, what are we doing?
Good question.
If brothers' intellectual wisdom is not going from this level to this level, and if you're the same individual that you were, knowledgeable wise, understanding wise, who you are historically, culturally, essentially, then the same way you came in, then it's a degree of what you're doing is missing. It's like going to a dojo and you want to go there and learn something, but you're not there learning nothing. And you look through the window of our dojo, and not only my brothers are synchronized, not only they efficient, but they learn how to work with multiple degrees, their hands, their feet, their weapons, their mental astute, all those things, their teachers, all these
workshop of the mind.
Yes. All these multifacets. So when we talk about these things, I say, well, after you get this, how can I say, religious story per se, continuously over and over, then what do you have?
Should have an understanding.
Malik, we should hope. Look, we talk about a form of structure, right? So if we have a form of structure and say we have a society, whatever, and we know other Moors that's on a whole nother level, intellectually, academically, that's done a plethora of things, even though you may have done things, you're not going to bring that individual around. You're not the same way churches do, the same way other people do. They're like, oh, we got to bring this brother around. We don't, but in our society, we don't do that. That's why I say it's not common. And like you said, because a lot of brothers, it's ego, because you only can talk about one thing. You know, with all due respect, we're not talking about no one individually. We're talking about a lot of people only have one style per se. And at the BBT, brothers don't gravitate to one science where they miss the rest. They understand the SO, the EXO, history, spirituality, linguistics, you know what I mean? The craft, the compass and the square, what the hex alpha is, you know, what the phase consist of, the esoteric wisdom, all the grammar. Why? Because we are students. That's why. And so these are the things that need to be taught amongst us. Because once you talk about,
there's a scripture that said that we're students, right?
Yes.
But also, to add in the Quran, when Yahshua was talking to the Indian, I think he was an Indian sage or something like that. He asked him what to study, and he told him, I say study. After I studied all the studying, what should I study? He said, study yourself. He said, okay. After that, what should I study? Study yourself. It's a constant study. You should be always constantly a student.
Come on.
And that's what that scripture says. You should always constantly be a student. You should never be over. Never. Yep. There's always something to learn, because you'll never know it all.
Yep. And it's so much. That's why I said it's so much. Like it's so many tools in the toolbox. Our Moorish Quran talk about these are the tools in the toolbox. Yeah, only those tools. That's only known to what Noble Ali brought and lower level Masons, but it's way more tools than that. When I get into my rose and my cross, it's way more tools. It's way more tools than that. So if we're talking about things like Malik said, and we're constantly knowing, because I'm not a know-it-all, but what I'm telling my brothers and sisters, if you have a person like myself or someone else, and you have temples and schools, we got to use these. You got to use me, just like if I was a guest speaker at your academia or at your church. Just like if it was Farrakhan, he coming to speak at your church or your temple. This is what I'm saying. If not, what's the purpose? If not, what's the purpose of when I be seeing all these Moors on social media and they be having their gatherings and their conventions and this and that and the other, and then they be on my page every week. With all due respect, I have to talk about it. Why? Because I'm talking about myself. I'm not dissing no one. I'm just saying, telling people reality and what reality is. When I tell people, because a lot of other people follow these individuals. When certain people be on my page and they sheiks and they in Atlanta and all this and they write books, and I say Islam because I love wisdom and I love brothers that do things, and they have people, but they be on my page every week. Like, what's the purpose? And never reach out. What's the purpose, Alonzo?
Yeah, there's no reasoning. There's no reasoning on that.
With all due respect and love, I asked brother this all day. I said, what's the thing? If brothers say they sheiks and they be on my page each week, not 1 day, 2 day, be on here all the time, and we still don't read it. We still, what is it? What we trying to prove? What we taking notes? What we trying to sit down and say what we pick and choose, or trying to take this and that? What we doing? We supposed to be using this the same way we came together, right, nobles? I didn't know y'all before none of this, did I?
Indeed.
Right.
I met all y'all, you know. So now all this time I've been doing this for years. YouTube, I've been standing for years. Created our own charter for years. Y'all been following me for years, so you know what I stand on. And so when I see other Moors and people that have these titles of sheiks and things on my page, I be like, well, why we don't come together?
Because some of these people are just using that stuff. They're not really sheiks. They're not ordained. None of that. What school masters do they go through?
And I'm not putting, and this what I tell people. It's not for me to say. I respect brothers wherever your sheikism is. My wisdom come from a whole nother level of wisdom. You know, as a guy, as a shaman, as a tasawwuf. I'm not orthodox.
So I'm saying that it's action, right?
Yes.
You're using this name, this title, right?
Yes.
The title of nobility. So if that, and I'm piggybacking off what you just said, right? If you are a sheik and you're holding this title, wouldn't you want to be around nobility? Because a sheik is supposed to be of nobility, right?
Yes.
So if that is a title that you're holding and they're on your page and they're not reaching out to you to see that how we can help fallen humanity, then you definitely don't understand what that title is all about.
Nope. Point blank.
And I'm not coming from a place of no slander. That's just what it is. So why are you not reaching out to help fallen humanity? And I'm addressing these people who hold that title and throwing it around, like, you know what I mean, on social media. I'm a sheik, this, that, and other, right? Well, what other sheiks are you putting your hands together with?
Islam.
Why are you not coming together? Because that's what we're supposed to do. Those are the instructions.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, right? Where we ever heard of something called like a clarion call. If you do a little bit of research after the fact, we offline, but like a clarion call is something where hits frequency where everyone immediately the attention is drawn to that awareness. It's like a clarion call.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like at a state of awareness that we currently at.
Yeah.
And the interesting part is that when you venture on certain platforms, you know, people hinting at it, people saying this like, oh man, we need this, you know, this, that, unity and community, this, that, and the third. And it's like almost like invisible, like, yeah, force fields, like, well, what everybody waiting on?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, what everybody waiting on? It's like this thing got to break. And I don't want it to be, right, Lonzo? I don't want it to be calamity. Look, I don't want it to be calamity.
They're waiting for it to fail. They're not waiting to see it succeed, because that's the psychomacy in all of this, right? they're sitting back. I don't want to be part of that. This is going to fail sooner or later. They've been coming to get all these other Moors. Think about that.
Islam, no, but we can't wait for calamity. We can't wait for destruction. That's the point.
Right.
With that I say Islam.
And that's what that's what I'm saying. And I agree with, like, especially I agree with Malik. How can a person hold this title as sheikh and all this in a certain area and don't link up? Like, that don't make sense. That don't make sense. When we talk about merging, if you watch martial arts, if you a Buddhist, you see all the monks and all the different levels of holy men and master teachers where? At the Buddhist temple, right?
Yeah, didn't Yahshua go sit with all the holy men and have conversation?
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's right out of the Quran. So
yes. And that's what I be saying. I said, how? That's all I be saying when I be talking about me, when I be looking about things, and people be asking me, because there be other people on my page, and they be like, "Oh, I live in this city," and they was like, "The sheikh that be on your page all the time," which is on my page now. They like, "I live there," and they were like, "They live," and they're like, "His temple is in Atlanta," and the brothers be on my page all the time because he on here right now. With all due respect. With all due respect, what his name? Sheikh Hiru.
Let's come together.
Sheikh Hiru Racine L. With all due respect, I like that's his name, Sheikh Hiru Racine L. And I've seen this person on my page a plethora of times, and we'll never reach out. We'll never say peace, Islam, or noble, or nothing.
Well, the name says it all. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it like that. The name says it all.
Hey.
Because that's an understanding, right? Your name is Sheikh KHARY Abna Goodman El Bay, right?
Yeah.
So if we understand your name that your parents gave you was KHARY Abna Goodman, correct?
Yeah, Hakeem Goodman, yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, that is your given name.
Yep.
The reason why you have Sheikh in front of it because you are well studied, right?
Yeah.
You have been ordained and went through the chambers.
Yep.
So that is your given name. Now I'm gonna just go out on a limb, and that name that you just said, I don't want to repeat it, right? Is not a given name. That is a name that you selected for yourself. Because if it was an earned title of nobility, right, they would be reaching out to you. I'm gonna say they're not out there. That's what I'm gonna say. Because if they were and they understood what the instructions are, once again, they would be reaching out. How can we make this better for our people? Period.
Point blank. I mean, anybody got anything else to say? Like I said, I agree. That's why I'll be looking. I'll be like Alonzo just said. We don't want calamity to happen, but at some point it gets insulting. I told y'all, Malik, y'all, we done been in Vegas a plethora of times, y'all, together. People that know us on social media walk right past me and hit me up on social media, be like, "Sheikh, did I just see you with your nobles?" "Yeah, you just saw me."
That makes no sense. Why didn't you say what's up then?
The same reason why what we just explained. There you go. I'm glad you said. The same reason why. What I'm just talking about right now is that was it. And that's why I said that. But you can see, this is why. When you see the nature of us. You see the nature of us. That's why I want you to see, we don't love each other. We want to be the only one. The nature of us. We'll be more cool if we locked up and our time was took away from us, and then we had the freedom to be on social media to link up with people and travel all over. We travel all over. You see?
We're used to chaos and destruction. I think we think that's what it has to be. They don't want peace. They don't want love and peace.
This is what I'm saying.
That's so far-fetched for some people. Like, I don't think they have it in them to move forward in that manner. Maybe they don't know how. Maybe they don't have the tools to do it. You know, that could possibly be one of the reasons. I'm not saying excuse, but it could possibly be one of the reasons.
And I agree, Malik, it could. Because remember, and then sometimes it's best, you know, how we deal with the common man when they get a position and a title. Some people don't want to be off that throne. Some people don't want no one greater than them. But Yahshua, he wanted to be around people with just as much as wisdom or even more. Because what's the use of a doctor if no one is sick? That's why everything that I know and I teach, I give it to y'all. Why? Because you could be greater and do greater things than I. I want to be around great men. So that's why a lot of men don't have great men around them. And the people they have around them, they be looking like drunks or a whole bunch of people that just fell off the streets, not no wise men, not a different level of different men from different backgrounds. It only be one kind of person. And they be the so-called sharpest knife in a dang old drawer, but they ain't nothing but a butter knife. How about that? How about that?
Right, that part. Yeah, true.
You know? And so this is the thing. What I'm saying. Where's the aptitude? Where's the school? Where's the wisdom? I get we talk about things to do this and that and the other, but if we say we're here for fallen humanity, like you said, Malik, why are we not connected? Because we're supposed to be using social media like minds to what? Come together. This is supposed to be international. This is supposed to be international, just like in academia, they have subordinate temples or satellite schools. This is supposed to be international. And if there's those greater than I, then you need another sheik in that establishment right there with you. If not, then you own some, like I say, some dictator stuff. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Real talk.
Agreed.
That's what it is. You own some dictator stuff. Because if we got the same thing, and it can be more wisdom that's being brought to people on a whole nother level of understanding, like C. Freeman L. would do it, Bobby Hemmett, and then history of science and civic and academia and all other levels of wisdom and a lot of things that we do in-house. Why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want that coming to your temple? Why wouldn't you want that amongst your brothers? Why wouldn't you want that?
I got a question, because I don't know this. So is Bobby Hemmett still alive?
I think so. He might not. I know he had some strokes. He had a stroke a couple times, so he wasn't speaking publicly anymore.
Oh, okay. I was just asking. Okay.
You know, he wasn't speaking publicly no more. Yep. But that's what I'll be saying, man. And I agree, Malik. I totally agree. It can be that, but then a lot of times people don't want it. You know, people don't want it. Why? Because we talking about it with all love, with all respect. We don't understand about murder.
Man, that's big.
Yes.
They better go search in that Bible or that Quran and listen to what it says about ego.
That's why I like a lot of when I'm in Arizona, and I like a lot of my Islam Muslims and even my Christian homies. When you have say high priest or doctors in divinity or historians and all that in that set and all that, they have them traveling. They be on the circuit. I'm supposed to be on the circuit with my brothers.
Right.
I'm supposed to be making my rounds, coming to the brother cities. Brothers coming like, Sheikh coming to Atlanta. We got Sheikh coming in town, just like all other holy men, just like Malcolm did. Just like I be telling people, I said, man, what's our problem? What is our problem? We're not gonna have brothers come in and speak so-called Black History Month just passed, and I know most individuals can only talk about a small fragment of that if you don't have the certain science that I have to illuminate a lot of stuff in history that go way past what we may think of. We need that, but the babies can be attached to that. We need that, and as I close, Malik, I'm gonna put it all the way back on us. It's our fault. It's our ego.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
That have these titles that say they sheik this, and you look them up, and you be like, okay, you in this area. You be like, man, I live in this area. And then people be hitting me up, be like, Sheik, I live here, this, and that, and the other, and blah, 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 and blah, they split. And if that's the case, and these people be on my page, why we ain't linking up? Because if I'm talking outside my neck, why would you be here every week? If I'm talking outside my neck, why would you be here every week?
That's a good question.
Faithfully. You see? And so that's why we use these things to have basic conversations and talk about different levels of wisdom, because it's more science. It's not talking about no whole bunch of old stuff and who's the author of the Supreme Grand Sheik and all that. Yeah, we get all that. But now what? And so that's what as I close, Nobles, that's all I had to say. I hope we get to the point where we get to our first pillar is love. I hope brothers get into using this system the same way y'all have used it to court me, to see what I was all about. And I'm thankful that y'all are my brothers, man. And I hold y'all brothers to high esteem. But like you said, Noble Malik, I'm KHARY. I'm SHIEHK KHARY Adna Hakeem Goodman Bey. My L and my Bay for the two things that I represent. That's my name. I annex my L and Bay. I annex. I don't have no fictitious name. And ain't no reason why. I don't have no aliases. Now, if I write, I can have a pseudonym or a pen name, which most writers do, but that's a whole nother subject. So I think that's where when I talk about we don't understand the system and how people can be on a circuit and going places and seeing people. Like I'm getting ready to go to Atlanta. Like I'm getting ready to go to Atlanta soon, Noble Malik. And here it is brothers that's on my page that they have temples in Atlanta, and they sheiks in Atlanta. And I'll be like, I said, what we doing? We ain't coming together? What, we don't like each other? What brothers, Crips and Bloods? Because somebody's wisdom might illuminate the wisdom that you come in, or might correct some of the things you're doing, or we can come to what? Understanding, because we can't agree to disagree, not on law, not on science. We have to agree. An individual have to be sincerely wrong, but stand it and be corrected. That has to be happen, because we can't do that with mathematics, with wisdom, with truth. We can't do that. We can't agree to disagree. So that's all I want to say, man. And thank y'all again, Nobles, for being my brothers, for rocking with me. And I challenge brothers, man, that have these titles, that say they sheiks and they fishers of men, and they do a lot of things in your city and XYZ. But come on, man. Come on, we're supposed to be using this social media to bring things together. If not, what's the purpose? And people want to be the only one. Like that's not wisdom. So anybody got anything else they want to share, Moso, Brian, or anything? If not, like I said, we can get out of here, man.
I said we rocking with you because you're rocking with the science.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude. That's all I got to say, man. I can't lead nobody into a burning house. I see it. I know it's going to take longer for us to get to a level. Why? Because we're doing it the right way, and we building on solid foundation. And with all the calamity with social media, that you see all the crazy stuff, we steady building on solid foundation. And it just so happened we don't have that many pieces to build with, but we making progress. We make, you know what I mean? And so that's the beauty of it. When people come together, when brothers have their own groups, and people bring people on the circuit with like, man, I know someone greater than I. See, that comes from understanding. When you can bring someone in that's greater than I, or you know what I mean, or understand something on a whole nother level, and can bring that individual in, and not only enlighten you, but enlighten everybody around you. That don't make your light dim. That brightens your light. Why? Because now this is an ally. Like, I don't understand it, Noble Malik. It hurts my heart that where brothers don't really see what I'm saying,
Because people don't, because they want the microwave results. I want to see how this is going to benefit me. They want to see that now. And I think that's what a lot of people's issue are, because our society now is so instant. You know what I'm saying? And this science ain't instant. This wisdom it's not instant, right? They want instant gratification. That's our whole society. I don't care where you go. That's why when things was 24 hours, it was, I could do it anytime I want to, because it's 24 hours in a day and everything's open 24 hours. So the accessibility has diminished the importance of what's important. That makes sense.
Yep. Make a lot of sense.
So much access.
Which is gave room for these people to come out there and start promulgating how Moors should function and operate, and then got their head busted because they took a little bit of wisdom and went ziggity boom on it, and then it's not all together. Even though some of it is making a sense, but then the rest of it ain't adding up.
It's like Fuji dust, how we had these conversations. What you just blow it, it's Fuji dust. You get to a certain place, Hansel and Gretel. They get you there, and then you turn around. You be like, "Damn, where everybody go? They disappear. Why? Because they know where you going is quicksand. They only going this far. This is the only way they take them because they know anything after this is danger, 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 danger."
And I think that's why they in the outside looking in the window. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and see,
outside of the window looking in.
And see, and that's why I say we can have so many honest conversations, and people be like, "Yep." Because and another reason why we don't come together because what people promulgated, what people trying to sell to people, and the basic stuff that we talk about here. When we say in general, when we say whoever doing it, I don't care if it's a temple, an individual, someone. They're all doing wrong, and so when you can easily look it up, and when we easily show it, they don't want to come around that.
You know what's crazy? That just made so much sense. What you just said. So when they were talking about I can help you become nationalized, right? Or I can help you basically become a Moor, in other words, right? What people sold them is I can file this paperwork for you, all of this, all of that. So though that word has now translated in their brain, even though we talk about donations, what they're thinking is no, that's a fee. They're going to try to fee and they can national. This is what they're associating things with. It's it's the misunderstanding of the association when we're talking about two different things. But in their head and most of what they've seen online is not what we're talking about. That's what you were sold. So now I can see where there's the confusion and the calamity, right? The cloud or the misunderstanding is they're associating what they seen with filing paperwork, and when we're talking about donation, they're thinking those two things are the same thing. They're not.
Well,
because they want something for free, and they've been sold for something for free. You get what I'm saying? You can get this much money. There's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Yeah, fool, the pot of gold is you. When you understand who you are, that's the science behind it. But y'all looking at it as from a monetary gain that I don't have to pay taxes to the government and yada yada. This, yes, but there's ways and understanding that they're not explaining to you about what that looks like and how that operates. Right, and I'm saying this very vaguely. I'm not saying it, giving it a whole bunch of detail. I'm saying it very vaguely and very general. But the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is how you operate, and you have to know and get the instructions on how to operate.
Gratitude, absolutely, and Malik, you 100% right. And when you say these things, and even with brothers that came in the teachings from different areas and came and we became brothers, a lot of that stuff is what was promulgated. A lot of those things, when a lot of brothers came into the sign, those things was promulgated. You know, those things. Even still today. And so when you say these things, and like I said, you know, I have gratitude, but I can't lead nobody wrong because y'all know, just like anybody else know, I could have made everybody ID card and sold them for $500 with some paperwork saying you're a Moorish American. Why? Because why not? Like a smart person can only act stupid. I can know how to do that and manipulate the system and manipulate my people real easy. But I can't look at my mom and my dad and them like that. No way. No way possible.
This is what I would explain to people, right? If you want an easy life, right, you have to work hard at the beginning. If you want an easy life, right, and I'm not saying you're not going to have challenges, but if you want an easy life, you got to work hard at the beginning. Ask anybody who's open to business. They worked hard at the beginning. They grinded at the beginning, right? They put in work. It's no different than somebody being a bodybuilder, right? Or somebody trying to lose weight, right? They had to work really, really hard and be consistent at it. 3 C's, commitment, communication, and consistency. You had to constantly keep doing it. And it's a grind. And it's not pretty, right, at the beginning, because you're going to start awakening things. And, oh, my God, you're going to have these aha moments, or, you know what I mean, these epiphanies, these light bulb moments that are going to go off in your head, right? And then you'll start to be like, oh, then you'll start connecting these things throughout life that we're missing. Right. And you that piece over here, oh, that fits right into here. Oh, there's where the satisfaction, you know, starts to come. oh, this is worth it. You get what I'm saying? Oh, I got that puzzle. Okay, cool. It's gonna take time. Okay, it took me this long to get here. Let me keep going. I want that Picasso. Right?
See,
but people don't want to take the time to build, and they might see, like my girls in basketball. I'll use it. This happened. So the last 4 years of the girls that I had, they seen me in shape. Right? I said, you guys think I've always been this way, huh? They was like, yeah, you always, yeah, coach. I said, no, I have not always been in this shape. So I had to show them my fat guy picture. They said, no, coach, you haven't. Yes. I said, this has been a process. This is what I've been consistently doing from this time in this picture that I'm about to show you to now. And I keep being consistent because it has to be a consistent thing. You got to keep doing it. You got to keep growing. And then over time, you're going to learn things. You're going to do it better because now it's going to be a time thing for you. Well, how do I manage my time to get this work out and be this effective? Oh, do I need this much amount of time? Right. But that's a self thing. That's self-awareness. That's your life you have that you got to learn how to balance your time out. Right. To where you can effectively still get your workout in for you and yourself. Right. Along with moving parts, family, this, that, job, the whole nine. Yes. So, yeah, I did all of that with that in place. But you have to figure it out. But that's the beauty of it.
Yep. That's that process. I mean, we talked about that in the DAP class the other day. We was like, what do you do consistently every day? What? To be better. What do you do consistently? Like I said, your Shiekism or whatever you do, what do you do consistently every day? Because Malik's saying this is life. I'm telling you, this is my life. What? What the person you get right here is what you got with me all through anything that I do. I don't care if it's academia, work, everything. The person you see right here is the person that you get. I don't strip myself down. I don't strip myself down and put on no Yankee hat. Nope. I don't strip myself down and put on no Gucci hat. No matter, I be around my friend because I have friends. When I go see the fights and things with my friend, because I'm back in my city of Flint, I go to Clarissa Shields fight. I'm who I am everywhere I go. Why? I ain't putting on no fur and no fur hat like Nikki Barnes. I wear my turban. You see, because we're confident this is a process. This is an understanding. This is a life. And all I'm just saying, we casting our net out to other brothers and sisters because we coming with all due respect. Just like it was
crazy. You know, it's crazy. Remember, I told you, I went and got my hats made, right? Because everything that I wear has to represent who I am from now on, right? I have some other little hats that it was just given, but they're not hats that misrepresent who I am, right? But at the same time, people have seen me consistently enough to where, and I'm rocking with you about the Yankee fit. They ain't never done that for my community. Ain't none of them. Ain't none of them came to the high school where I'm at. So why would I represent that stuff? No, I'm not. I'm not doing it.
I'm a more.
But that's why when they got my hats made, because it represents.
Yes.
It's representing all day, every day. And I have to, I don't know, because when I don't want to wear my turban, I mean, it's not that I don't want to wear it, but I was like, I don't feel like rapping today. Oh, I can put I can put my hat on that represents who I am.
Absolutely. And that's because that's your choice. You know who you are. Like the turban don't make the man make the turban.
No, make the turban, that's right.
Because the feds can be a dunce hat on the food.
Dunce hat,
We're talking about it right now. So it's a dunce hat on these charlatans. So you make the feds just for me. I just like wearing the feds and the turban. If I wear a hat, maybe here and there, I might work out in it. But all the time I'm gonna have a turban on or a kufi. Why? Because that's just me. That's just me. Yeah. That's all. It don't make me no better than no one else. But I'm saying but what Malik is saying and what we saying. When people promulgate things, when people say who they are, when you see them in real life, because if this is your position, you got to be that in real life. It ain't no turn on and off of that. You can't go to work and take everything off and put on a Dickie hat and a hat and be like, hey, I'm Mr. Bill at work. Then boom, go in the booth and the phone will say, dun, 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 I'm Sheik. That Alibaba.
It's just, I ain't even gonna front like at all. People might think that it partly is my energy, right? But when you do wear something that represents something, of nobility and it shows, like I'm gonna just be honest, you get treated differently. I'm not even gonna front. You
Yes.
get different looks, you get better smiles. And I'm not saying go wear it because of that. What I'm saying is when you start to study and understand who you are, you begin to carry yourself a particular way because we are the archetype, right? We are the standard, right? And that's why we got to hold ourselves to high standard, right? And that's a self thing. You have to hold yourself to a high standard. You have to start functioning in that high standard, right? And know what that means, right? You don't have to be a butthole to everybody. I like you said, I'd be a joy to be around people, right?
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
just people that you just met. You get to have enlightened conversations, more conversations of value, right? Meaningful, put smiles on people's faces. You know what I mean? Be a joy to be around.
Yeah.
Islam. You're living out the principles, Noble. That's the
Yeah.
vibration. It's deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed.
So, yeah, man, that's all I want to share with people. Like I said, I'm a human too. And we talk about results. And like Noble Alonzo said, we don't want a calamity. We don't want to crash. I know we know which way we want to go. I think we should be going the same way. That's all I'll be saying of what's the purpose. Like if this, just imagine Noble Alonzo, if we was all in a certain area, right? And we in the same city and we be seeing people on social media all the time. We see people in the neighborhood with feathers on, all that, and then they jump on social media and they be on their page and we don't even link up. Like that, to me, that shows something about us. That this is what I'm saying. That shows a character flaw. That shows a character flaw because what will make you not be around people that are just as great as you or better? What, why? That shows something about us. That to me, you know what I mean? And to not only me, to a plethora of other individuals as well. You know?
Islam.
You know, we should be using all the tools in the toolbox. And so with that, I say gratitude. I say Islam. And we can get our Moorish American prayer, man. Alonzo, can you give us our benediction, if you don't mind? But once again, nobles, like we say, man, we got a full library. We got a whole bunch of new regalia in, tunics, cotton or silk. We got kufis, turbans, fezzes, shemags. We got a lot of stuff going on. We're gonna, once I get back to AZ, I'm gonna have a nice little conversation with my mufti so we can start doing gifts. You know, regalia, packaging things up, doing little gifts to bring, you know, us together a little more and try to see if brothers really ready to come together and do this conglomerate. We got to do this conglomerate, man. We have to. And so when brothers are saying they be having their conventions and stuff, myself and my muftis and my brothers and sisters that I rock with can come. My muftis that I hold dear to me. Because, hey, like I said, when we come in, like my professor said, and he be on our other page, he like, you and your brothers, y'all can have a panel and go on all levels of wisdom. And he was the professor 4 times over in religion, history, spirituality, linguistics, because that's what I have a background in. And I say, come on, man, it's only one way. And so until we come together and brothers can say, let me start using this social media to get with brothers. Because we shouldn't be on here all these times, brothers that's sheiks and all these brothers that's part of temples and this, that, and the other, and we ain't linked up. That to me, it don't make sense, y'all.
That's
and so,
crazy.
Yes, and I'm gonna keep saying that, y'all. Like that's crazy, you know. And so that I just had to say that because it was on my heart. Because somebody just hit me up, and it was like, "Well, man, I see that brother on your page every week, Sheik," and I'm like, "Me too." And so I don't be coming for no disrespect. I just have to. I give people shouts out. Like in love. And there's a lot of people on here. I can't even shout everything out. They say 15.2K. So it's a lot of people on here. But like I say, it's a few. Well, it's a lot of people that come back all the time. But when I see brothers that have Sheik on their name, I'll be like, man, why we ain't linking up?
Right.
That's all I'm saying, man, as we close, because I really don't have nothing else. Why don't we link up? You know? And what is our purpose and what we here for, Noble Malik? You know?
Good question.
Oh, I don't know, man. So I don't know. Okay, I see. I had to go on this page. So I see this I see the brother. I mean, I see the brother. And that's why I be saying it's like, with all due respect, these people be on my page and I can say something about these things. I'll be like, man, what's up, brothers? Because if this,
You
this
ain't
the
doing
brother
that
here,
but saying what's happening.
right? This the brother right here. I'm saying peace. We live, you on my page right now. Pull up your page. I'm saying peace, brother. If we can't say peace, if we can't build on things and bring people together, what's the purpose?
Good
What's the
question.
purpose? That's all I'm saying. Because I said, let me look at the brother page. I see your page. I see you just wrote another book, Citizenship and Reincarnation. You know? And this is what I be saying, like, what is our purpose? Like, it ain't no competition. How can it be competition? Are we supposed to have the same mission?
That's that. Yeah, that part.
What, Rebirth Podcast with Shia? With all due respect, when we talk about podcasts and stuff, it's the stuff that people be doing. And I'll be like, well, what's the mystery? What's the secret, man? Why people don't want to link up, but they be on my page every week? Come on, man.
They want to be the one.
Huh?
They want to be the one.
I know. I'm just showing love. When I see things, I'm like, okay, well, this is the brother right here. What I say, okay, well, this is the brother, peace and love. You know? I'll be like, well, where the brothers at? Are you in Atlanta? Are you here? There? Because come on, what we doing?
All right.
So I'm just giving shouts out to brothers and stuff, man. When I be seeing people, they be on my page, and I'll be giving brother shouts out, and I'll be like, whoa, these people be on my page every week. Noble Alonzo.
Indeed.
And I'm not saying disrespecting. I'm like, Pete, bro, I see you on my page. I'm saying, what's up? You know, I'm seeing different Moors and everything. I'm like, dang. Like, you see what I'm saying? This all I be saying. And these people be on my page every week and they don't say nothing. They don't say, peace, Noble. I like your degree, you know what I mean? Or your ism, none, this, that, and the other, and all that. And I say, what's the purpose? Because if we got a mission, it's nothing, it's nothing new. I get all the paperwork and all that, how the temple was set up and all that good, all that. We get that. We get that tradition. Now we moving forward. On what? Building. And if nationality the order of the day, then that has to be the order of the day. So I just wanted to show some things when people be on my page, I say peace and love and brothers be sheiks. And I say, well, it's just like if we were doing martial arts and you got all these different senseis and masters and a person challenge someone and they don't even know how to work with weapons or the bow staff. And I work with the bow staff and they say, well, just because they a sheik, they want to challenge me, and with ego it'll make you come challenge somebody. And I'm a master student with the bow staff, with all due respect. But your ego, I'm not saying nobody, I'm just using it as an analogy because your title might be as mine, will say, I can challenge this individual. It's just like if we was in martial arts, I'll say, man, well, I'm using this as a picture. I'll say, well, you'll have to challenge one of my students. Why? Because I know my students, with all due respect, is going to illuminate any teacher. Especially how? Because I'm going to see how they stand in. I'm going to see their degree. I'm going to see what level, we're going to already know where they're limited at. So the first thing we're going to do is what? Give grace. Remember, the first tenet is love. So the first thing we're going to do is give grace. It's just like if we're dealing with law and I have all the stuff, and before we go there, I'm like, man, this is going to turn out like this. Now, if your ego take you there, that's on you. What we do is give grace. When grace is given, then it's something higher that's rocking under that top. And so that's what I tell people. We can't be upset or people degree, the fez and all that, and the symbology from the fez to the graduation cap to the hex alpha. When a person say, what you mean? That graduation cap and that fez both have 360 degrees of wisdom. So when you dissing academia and wisdom, you just wearing the fez as what? Tradition. Hello, somebody.
Hello, somebody.
It break down wisdom and things. So we should be coming together, y'all. And like I said, I'm done, but I had to go on this brother page and I'm seeing this in real time. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, come on. And I respect everybody. I love these brothers that had all type of stuff going on. And they on my page. I see the brothers, the different, and I'm like, so what type of Islam are y'all on? You know, if I deal with all type of Islam, I'm Sufi. I'm Tasawwuf. I see Moors, I see brothers with brothers and sisters and all that. So I'd be like, well, what's the degree? If you had a university and I'm a lecturer on history and science, just like Dr. Bean and Sheikh Anna Diop and Ivan Van Sertima did lectures, you would want me to come and do a lecture. You would want me to come to your church and your temple to speak. I will hope. If not, Noble Malik, what's the purpose? What's the purpose? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
And so that's why I said the work, as we close, it go back to us. It go back to us doing this work, because there's too many Moors that be following me on social media and all this and be on my page each week, and we ain't linked up not once. And I say, well, what's the, like, and these people be on my page every week. And I respect everybody's science. But no way these brothers can be on my page each week and don't say nothing. No way I can go on these people social media page while they on my page right now and they don't say peace and love. And I say, so what's going on? We in the competition? That's why I be like, man, to me, it just be disheartening. And I love everybody, and everybody have families and all that. Everybody have this and that. And person say, well, you know, they got kids and all this. Everybody have kids. Hell, killers be having kids and mamas and grandmamas. They be going to church. That ain't got nothing to do with what a person would do. And like Malik said, their character, that has nothing to do with that. When we talk about a certain way we treat each other, if we Moors and we dealing with people here and we in each other, we're not just passing by. People are sitting down. I've been running my mouth for almost 2 hours and people have been here a plethora of time and we still ain't connected. Malik, I agree with what you saying. Then a person gonna have to explain to me, and then the explanation is gonna be nothing, because ain't no way. It ain't no way to explain.
Yeah, that's for real. So when I saw you online, I didn't lauder. You gave a message. You said what you was doing. I said, that's what I want to be a part of. Let's make it happen. I'm still here.
Yeah.
Lonzo's still here. Sport's still here. Brian's still here. Moso's still here. Many are called, but few are chosen. And it doesn't mean that you're chosen. You choose yourself.
Yeah.
That's what a few are chosen. It's what you choose to do, because it's the power of choice.
Yep. Yep. And a small group of brothers going to go out and change the world as we continue to go, as the Creator keep working with me and sending me on missions. Like I'm getting ready to go on another mission, because we missionaries. And that's what I'll be laughing. Another thing with Noble Malik, that's another thing. When I say, how are you a missionary? And talk about you got the mission and you don't deal with the brother that's the missionary. That could come with the mission to deliver the divine and the spiritual science. That'll give you our divine and give you our national side. And very eloquent on both levels. We got to use that. And until we do that, man, all I can say, it's a mighty work that we got to do. Because I'm showing what happens with this science. I'm showing everybody be the only one. I even saw y'all with this conscious community stuff. I don't know if people used to watch that stuff. That's where this stuff come from with each other, where we don't love each other. It comes from that debating. And I want to be the only one, like you, the sharpest knife in the drawer. And I say, man, just because you a butter knife and you can slice butter when it's warm, don't mean you sharp.
Right.
You see
that part.
And so this is where this disconnection from love and from understanding, and it came from a whole different degree. And that's what we get. What? Brothers that sheiks and this, not the other. We get this. This is what we get. Because when you see my European Jews, they come together. When you see the imam, all that, they come together. They don't separate. If this person greater than I, we got to bring him in as what? As the potentate, as the holy man, as the grand teacher, XYZ. Why? Because that's his position. That's what we're supposed to do. And just because you bring men together, that's a great thing. You've done a great job. Now you bring someone in greater than you. So why you don't want to bring no one in? Oh boy, because that's your livelihood? It shouldn't be your livelihood, because I ain't coming in to do that. We coming to elevate and illuminate. So there's no way brother should have temples, Noble Malik, and be on my page each week. Peace, Noble Abe. And have temples in Atlanta and stuff and be on my page each week and don't say nothing to me. I'm highly offended.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep saying that. No way I can go on this individual page and look up his page and this person be on my page each week. SHIEHK KHARY, with all respect. I can speak on that because I ain't saying nothing negative about this brother. I don't know the brother. But to me, say if me and him got into a situation where we both got, say our freedom took, and we go and we so-called locked up in the same area, and this brother been on my page for months and everything, and then we get locked up, what, you gonna say what's up to me and be like, oh man, yeah, I used to be on your page, I got the temple in there. Me, respectful, with all due respect, I'm gonna be like, with all due respect, because y'all know I'm territorial in that wisdom, when I be like, dog, no. Because I'll be like, it's a character flaw. And I'm not saying this is, but I'll be like, why we can't be like this when our freedom is there? We have the time to build. We have the time to love on each other. Why our freedom got to be took? You know, for us to build. Mm-hmm. This is all I'm saying. It's like, what's the discourse? And nobody can say nothing. I say it's an insult. I'm gonna continue.
Good question.
You know, as I close, y'all, I'm gonna continue to say this. This brother be on my page each week, and I say, love, what's up? And then I see all these brothers with their different regalia on. I see empresses and everything. And I say, okay, well, these brothers be on my page. With all due respect, I gotta keep showing these brothers, and they beautiful. It's a beautiful demonstration. This is what I be telling people. I be like, dude, I'll be proud of people. You on social media? So why would somebody be afraid you put the stuff on social media to the public? I say this is a beautiful demonstration. I'm giving love when I see Moors and stuff with fezes on and turbans on. But then, are we delivering the right science? I'm talking about a beautiful demonstration. And so when I look on my page and I see these people, I'm like, okay, so what we doing? Because we ain't from the same state. Well, we don't build. We got to be from the same state. Then you're not international. We international. Come on, man. A lot of things we do, I say, I get tradition. A lot of people be like, listen, I understand tradition, but hey, people do things because that be their certain group. And they be like, well, we doing this because what? That may be something you done, established. It's a lot of things that we can talk about, which I don't get in. But I tell people, if we brothers and we this and that and the other, it's something that we got to agree on. We got to agree on science and we got to agree on law. If not, then what we doing? We having church? So you got to tell me if that's what we doing. So if we just having church, then you got to tell me that. I'm a divine preacher. I'm gonna come preach the hell out the church then. If that's the case, if that's all you doing, you see?
Well, with all due respect, messing with people money. With all due respect.
Yes. I give respect when I be seeing these brothers and I be like, okay, where these brothers at? Where they temple at? When I seeing these brothers' degrees, I be like, okay, I see SHIEHK, this and other. Where they temple at? I see all the events these brothers be throwing. They had these brothers be having events. They had an event with temple number 27. So it's the Moorish Science Temple of America. I don't know if it's they say Moorish Science Temple of America. It don't say Inc. So if it's Moorish Science Temple of America, I'm part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. This is what I be saying, Noble Alonzo. I'm part of the only one temple. So if these people are Moorish Science Temple of America, why I ain't invited?
That goes a lot said. It means they don't understand what it's all about.
I'm just saying. And they on my page. And I show everything. I'm part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. They paperwork should match mine, saying what we should teach and what we limited in doing. And unless you have an expertise like I do, but everything else, it tell you specifically what you should be teaching, and that's it. So if this is the Moorish Science Temple of America, temple number 27 in Atlanta, I'm part of the Moorish Science Temple of America, which is only one. So I be saying, is it Moorish Science Temple of America, or is it that's we say Moorish Science Temple and it's something else, which all disrespect. But what we talking about, man? I'm giving respect. I'm shouting things out. I'm not disrespecting these people on my page. I'm seeing Moors everywhere. The first annual Moors Bazaar. Me and my Mufti want to come to the Moors Bazaar, Saturday, August 22nd, 2026. Wow. I mean, come on. I'm just saying, like, what we doing?
Well, let's not keep going around and round about it. I think we made our point.
So we out of here, man. I just want to say it with love. I love everybody. The only way we can do something is we come together, y'all. This science must be unified because we all looking the same. We all looking the same, and everybody promulgating something different. That means somebody crazy. Are we all crazy?
A little bit. No, I'm playing.
But I'm just saying though, Malik, with all due respect, if we operate on law and science, well, law governs all events. We should be able to clear this up real fast and move with synchronized. If not, then people got to say they have a motive. And with that, I say gratitude and Islam. Take us out, man.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amen Ashay, Shalom Aleichem, Ash'ar, Islamism, peace, peace, peace.
Lonzo, can you give us our benediction?
May the benediction of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou shouldst strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine act of love upon thy brethren, and do the best to shun thine evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that you might nourish the souls of men. Let truth be the shield in the manifest battle of falsehood. Know that Moors need not to pick the locks of the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft, for behold, the key to salvation already rests within thine own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconstancy, there still is the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, lengthen thy age, and give thee everlasting peace. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Haq, Ya Muhammad. And at the BBT, when we say Al-Haq, that's Arabic and it stands for the truth. And when we say Ya Muhammad, that's Arabic as well, and it stands for the protector. We see ourselves at the BBT as truth protectors. And we cast our net out each and every week to true and divine light seekers to come and join on to us. For the truth has no sides. For the truth is one, as man is with Allah. And with that, we say peace and love. Islam.
Wow. Peace, peace,
Peace,
peace.
peace, 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 peace.
Take us out.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Once again, this broadcast has been brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading fundamental. Also brought to you by bindedbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to get all of your teas at My Son's Teas, the tea of teas divinely prepared at herbsofmyaunt.com. Be sure to check out all of those musical stylings by Brian Hicks Spade at bhspademusic.com. For your everyday items and religious regalia, be sure to check out morrishaberdasher.com. And for that everyday especial Morris drip, be sure to check out morsachi.com. And all of these companies are powered by ALO Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today.
No such thing as failure, baby. Don't forget who made you. You can't be thinking minor when you need to be thinking major. They made you think they saved you, but can't nobody save you. And